According to CBNC, the average American has $90,460 in debt, opposed to the average European who has €26,000 in debt. But high interest debt isn't normal. It's an obstacle you need to conquer if you truly want to achieve financial independence. In today's video, I will share with you 3 steps and 2 mainstream strategies you can use to destroy your debt and never use it again. This includes getting to know your situation, creating a budget, choosing a strategy that works for you, and even a bonus strategy if your debt isn't that big. Let's dive in. Step 1. Create an overview. Before you start to tackle your debt, you should know how much there actually is to pay off. So write down all your outstanding debt, credit cards, student loans, and even your mortgage. Also include your interest rates, the minimum monthly payments you have, and finally the duration of the loan. You can use any tool you like. If you prefer old school pen and paper, use that, but Excel or Google Sheets are also great. Just get it out of the way. A fancy tool won't change your situation, only action will. Whatever you do, don't feel bad about your outstanding debt. You can't change the past and the situation you are currently in. You can only improve your future. Doing these first steps is actually the hardest, but it's the best step you can do. Be proud of yourself that you decide to take action, which is the first step to success. Once you're finished with your overview, you can move on to the next step, which is to create, but especially use, a budget. Step 2. Use a budget. It may sound a little bit obvious, but don't take on any extra debt. This will only make your situation worse. In step 2, you're going to need a budget. This will deepen your understanding of your expenses and where that money is going. The beginning of a month or quarter is great for this. The first time I decided to create a budget, I was going through all the bank statements of January, February and March and seeing which expenses were recurring. Besides the obvious bill of your rent, mortgage, utility, transportation or groceries, try to find out how much you pay for food outside your regular shopping. How much coffee do you get from that Starbucks during the day? Again, you can use any tool you like. You could use a journal to write every expense down when you do them. If you like to use an app, you can use Mint or Revolt. Or do it like I do, a good old-fashioned Excel sheet which has an overview of all my income and expenses. If you don't use a budget, it is easy to get off track and spend more than you wish. The time of cash money is over, and spending has never been easier. Weaponize yourself against it. Once your budget is in place, try to find ways to cut down your expenses. Here are a few quick tips on how you can do this. 1. Cancel any subscription you haven't used in the last quarter. Somewhere mid-2022, my wife and I found out during dinner that we hadn't used our regular television for the last 2 months, but we were still paying for it. So lo and behold, we cancelled it and never missed it a day. 2. Eat at home. Eating out has always been expensive, but with recent inflation and post-pandemic prices, I sometimes can't believe the prices restaurants are charging. Eating more at home and preparing your own food isn't only better for your wealth, but eventually also for your health. 3. Search for deals. Some items you can buy in bulk, so why not buy them when they are on sale? With our little girl, we know we will need a lot of diapers, so why not buy a little extra when they are on sale? If you do most of your shopping online, you can always use a free app like Honey to see if there is a better deal online. Please keep in mind that you can only cut down your expenses to a certain level. If you get obsessed with paying down debt faster, remember you live today. Paying down your debt in a year isn't worth being frugal too much. If you feel you cut down all you can, maybe it's time to focus on increasing your income. If you don't know how, I will leave a link to an article I wrote in the description down below. Step 3. Choose a strategy that works for you. Don't take too much time going over all the details which strategy you can pick for paying off your debt. A goal without a plan is just a wish is a famous saying. It really doesn't matter which plan you choose. Just pick one of the following 3 strategies and your gut will tell you which one works best for you. The first 2 strategies are the snowball method, popularized by David Ramsey, and the debt avalanche method, popularized by J.L. Collins. Strategy 1. The snowball method. Take the overview of all your debts in step 1 and rank them from smallest to biggest. The focus of the snowball method is paying off your smaller debt first and rolling the same minimum payment towards the next smallest debt. This means you completely ignore the interest rates on all your debts. The snowball method works because you build momentum, just like a snowball. It is focused on your psychology. You will like the satisfaction of completing the small goal first, paying off that small debt. Afterwards, you need to keep using that momentum towards your bigger debts. It could be that your highest interest debt is also your biggest debt. That means that it will take a lot of time before you see any big difference, and this can be demotivating. So maybe strategy 2 is more for you. Strategy 2, the debt avalanche. Take the overview of all your debts in step 1 and rank them according to interest rates. Put any extra money you have into the debt with the biggest interest rates. For example, if your credit card loan is $10,000 but has an interest rate of 7% and you're behind on some medical bills and need to pay 3% interest rate on the $500 bill, you are still paying off your credit loan first. If the debt on your biggest interest rate debt is paid off, use this money again for the other debts. If you love Excel sheets and math, the debt avalanche strategy is for you. However, it may take some time before you see any progress, especially if your high interest debt is also your biggest debt. On paper, the debt avalanche method works because it cuts back on the amount you're paying in interest. Yet, we are still emotional human beings, so think for yourself what works for you. The bonus strategy I want to talk about is the Financial Samurai debt and investment ratio. Looking at myself, my only debt is my mortgage, which has an interest rate of 1.25%, so I'm not worried about paying it off faster than necessary. But what if you would like to allocate some cash to pay off extra on those kind of debts? Well, you can use the Financial Samurai debt and investment ratio, better known as the FSDR. With the FSDR format, you decide how much you're going to pay extra on your debt with the following formula. We take the debt interest rate and multiply that by 10. This is the percentage of cash flow after living expenses allocated towards paying down your debt. For example, with my mortgage interest rate of 1.25%, I utilize 12.5% of my monthly cash flow after living expenses each paycheck to pay extra down on my mortgage debt. The remaining 78.5% is invested. When you just finished step 1 or just transferred your first extra down payment, the road can seem long. Maybe it is even an uphill battle that will take forever. But please, don't give up. If you pay down debt and eventually invest, you will win at the end. It doesn't matter which strategy you choose. What matters is that you start. Grab a pen and paper and put down the work. I hope this video helped you along the way. If so, be sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like to help me grow this. I see you in the next one.